In this video tutorial, we're going to look at one of the more advanced features of the V3R software, and that is tone curves. So although the file should be fine on your screen, if you are wanting to get that little fine tuning to match your press that bit better, maybe your press has got a bit of dot gain on there, well, we can simulate that with inside V3R. So every ink layer has its own dot gain curve. So first of all, let's jump into this file here. So it's got a neon pink on there. It's got a warning symbol because it doesn't know what we want to do with it. We're going to print this with the Sharp BP1200S. So that's my file. Now, bearing in mind, we do have the option to do opacity, so we can match the opacity of the ink. So if you're doing a 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 hits, whatever you want to call it, you can match that and save it as a preset. But we can also then play around with the ink trapping. How does the ink trap with that ink? So if I'm using pink as an underlay on the press, first unit of the press, and I put magenta, yellow, black over the top of it, how does that ink trap? Maybe the fusing between those inks doesn't quite work as well. So let me just simulate that now. If I bring down the magenta, we can remove some of the trapping characteristics on the press. So there's lots of little fine tuning that we can do. If we were doing pink as an overlay, then we probably wouldn't need to do that because obviously the pink is going on top of the CMYK. So it's there if you need it. And just to demonstrate how all this works, let's just switch everything off. Switch the pink on. Sorry, not the pink, the magenta. Well, actually, I do want that one. Hold on. Let me put the magenta on as well so it makes more sense. Okay, so if I now reduce this one down, you can see how we're affecting the magenta in the area where the neon pink is. So it only affects things where the ink is, so it doesn't affect skin tones. If you look at all the skin tones around here, we're not affecting that because there's no pink in that area. So it's only where the two inks interact. Okay, so if we want to do a tone curve, which is something completely different, this is fine-tuning the curve. So we open up the tone curve. Every ink has its own curve. So if I want to go in here and first of all click to add a point, and then you can click and move it. So you can drag it around. So if you do want to fine-tune it, maybe you're a little bit light in the mid-tones, maybe the 3/4 tones a bit more filled in, then we can match that. Things that you can't do, obviously, with a static linear file. So by linear, I mean your artwork file comes in, it's linear, the curve is a straight line. But if your press fills in a little bit more and you've got a little bit more tweaking to go on with the design, you can do that in here if you want to set it to that extreme. You can save that, so I'll just call it pink for now, but just to give you an example, if I was doing this, I would set it up for, say, pink digital gloss paper. It might be pink Xerox Iridescent, it might be pink Ricoh C7500. Whatever you're doing, your inks and your characteristics might be slightly different. How does it print on uncoated paper versus coated? Is it 2 hits, 3 hits? So we can fine tune it if we want to. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can do. Now all these will only store inside its individual ink character. So it's what we call a bucket. In this case, what it means is that if you save pink, and you'll only see pink curves in the pink channel. So if I now go to my CMYK, and it doesn't matter whether I'm looking at any one of these in particular, if I click on Edit Tone Curve, it will open up and I can get access to all of them. So the same thing, maybe I want to play with my black, the magenta, yellow, cyan, or alternatively, I can just go in here and load them up. So I've already pre-configured some in here just to give you a demonstration, so I'd have to do it all at once. I've got the cyan, I can load up my magenta, yellow, and black. Now in a future upgrade, what we're going to be doing with the system is we'll be having press configuration settings, which means when you load a job, you'll be able to say, I'm printing it on the Fujifilm Revoria. And in which case you'll be able to say, and it's using this profile, as in like this tone curve for the CMYK, and it will load all of this in automatically for you. So it's kind of like set it up if you want to, and then we can load it based on what we're going to put printing onto. So if we look at this, we can see on the CMYK, this is just instructional, so you can't do anything with this one. It's just to really show you the curve, in which case I've gone a little bit over the top with the black, and just to show you how all that works. If you want to go back to default, you can either right-click, which will delete a point. You could also reset, which will get rid of the points. And you can also go back and use identity, which is basically the original identity when the file loaded, and it will reset it. So if you want to, there's different ways to be able to get rid of the curves or load curves, depending on what you want to do. And like I said, all of these are independent, so when we're working with the spot colors, whether it's the neon pink or everything else, we can independently play around with these. So they're all completely unique. Little dot next to it means that it's active and you've got something on it. So if I reset that now, it's going to disappear because I don't have a curve applied to it. So little handy things that are in there just to really kind of like say, okay, have I got something set? And like I said, it's a kind of like an expert level. If you're just doing, this is your artwork, you're visualizing it, you should be fine. If you want to go to that really like fine-tuning level, you can do so. So as always, if you do have any questions, please do reach out to us for assistance. And if you have any suggestions or what you'd like to see added to V3R, we're always open to hearing your ideas.